Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with an EDC Gear review. I know some of you guys are already saying, it's a flashlight review, let me click off this. Well, hear me out. I know this is a flashlight review, but I think as prepared gun people, we really need to be upping our EDC game. I know for myself, this is an area of the gun community and kind of the prepping community that I have ignored for a long time. But over the past couple years, with everything going on in the world, I have begun to appreciate the practicality of many of these EDC items. And having this channel, I've had a large number of flashlights sent to me for review, and my collection has kind of grown. I've learned a lot about them and found a lot of uses for them, so I'm beginning to appreciate this stuff more and more. Yes, you need to have a gun, but I also think you need to have a knife and a flashlight. You don't have to have the most expensive ones, but find the ones that work for you, which, by the way, hopefully I'll be doing some knife reviews and some future EDC videos if a collaboration between me and a company that I'm working with is going to go through. But today I'm going to be reviewing the Thrunite, I believe it is the T1, which is a 1500 lumen EDC light. It's not a very small keychain light, and it's not one of the tactical lights. This one is in dark green, or so the box says, and this was sent to me by Thrunite. And I always give you guys the terms of any review, and that is the only thing I'm getting for this review is this flashlight. I get no coupon codes. I am not paid for any type of advertising or this review. I'm allowed to review this flashlight as it is when I unbox it and give my honest opinions, and the only thing that I receive, as I said, is this flashlight for free. So let me adjust the camera, let's unbox this thing, and let's compare its performance to some of the other popular EDC lights that I have. Alright, so here's the box this particular flashlight comes in. It's the standard paper box from Thrunite, which actually I find to be very nice and attractive. Let's open this thing up, see what comes with this. Alright, you get your usual warning label like screw down the light head and tail cap tightly before use. I think that's with every one of these lights. Here is the light itself. Let's see what else we get here in the box. You should get an owner's manual, something in a couple of languages there. You get the charging cable, you get a clip, and you get a lanyard. That kind of seems to be the standard fare for these lights. Then here's the light. So let's go ahead and tighten this one down. All right, ooh, it already came on. All right, so here it is in dark green. I like that. And the one thing about the Thrunite lights that I have really liked is all of the different color options and how they anodize these. These are not painted finishes. These are anodized finishes, which look really good. They have these nice external charging ports, which I prefer. I find these to be really, really easy. I think the only easier ones would be the Olight ones with the magnetic chargers. The size of this one is pretty nice. As you can see, it fits in the palm of my hand, but it is definitely not a keychain light. This thing is really small to claim to have 1500 lumens. It says it is the Thrunite T1. So the construction of this looks really nice. It's very light, very portable. Obviously this thing would be perfect for pocket carry. I like the size of this one a lot. Probably would be great for me to have handy for walks around the neighborhood, walking the dog, and just some basic stuff here around the house, and for basic everyday EDC. So this would be a flashlight that I think I could compare to my Olight Baton 2. It's a little bit smaller, but I think it has more lumens. So let's check how this thing works here. Push the button. I'm assuming it's going to have multiple settings. Okay, so that's probably a pretty low setting there. And if I hold it down, maybe it, okay, if I hold it down, it goes to the moonlight setting. I do remember that. And if I push it multiple times, oh, there it is. That is the really bright setting. And there's probably going to be a strobe setting. There it is. So there are the light levels. Let me readjust the camera now, and I will compare this to a couple of other lights. We're going to see how the hotspot is and how the spill is, and how this would compare as an EDC light to some other lights that I currently own. Alright, so here's the view of my garage that I always give you guys when I'm reviewing these lights to show the hot spot in the spill. I feel like this is the most practical view that I can give you. I know that some people have complained that I'm not showing you what it looks like outside, like against a fence that's maybe 100 feet away. But for me, this is how I'm going to use my EDC lights. We're going to be looking at, of course, the Thrunite T1. See if I can get this in the focus here. So here's the flashlight that is on the table tonight and that we are reviewing. Then we are going to compare it to another Thrunite light that I have come to actually really like and appreciate, and this is the Catapult Mini. This thing really throws a very centered hotspot a long way. And another EDC light that I like, which is the Olight Baton 2. Here's that. And this is kind of a standard one that a lot of people know and love. All right, so let me turn off the lights here and let's check what these lights look like. All right, so we're gonna pretty much test these lights all on their highest function. We'll start off with the T1 tonight. And here is that. It's supposed to be 1500 lumens, and dang, does that thing light up the garage. Now this light does have an orange peel style reflector, so you don't really get a very centered hotspot. To me, this kind of looks more like a floodlight than anything else. The hotspot would be quite big and quite large with a lot of spill, and it really illuminates this whole garage in all the angles around. So this is actually really nice, and I think perfect for an EDC light. Would not be good for a tactical situation, but this thing is really bright. Just holding it and having it on for a little bit of time, I do feel a little bit of warmth coming from the light as well. So this thing is putting out a lot of light for a very small package, and personally, I think this is a great size for an EDC light. All right, so let me turn this one off, and now we're going to compare this to the Thrunite Catapult Mini. This is the one that has the very centered hotspot. I think you guys can see that there. So the reflector on this one really centers that light. It's almost like a laser beam in a way. So this is great for more long distance applications. Also another good EDC light. I think this one is a little bit better for outdoor use, where the T1 is probably better for indoor use. So there is that one, very centered hotspot, not a lot of spill. And then finally, we're gonna have the Olight Baton 2, probably the most popular light here that I have on the table. And this one has about the same number of lumens. This one has a more centered hotspot than the T1 does, but this one does not have an orange peel reflector in it and doesn't have as much spill. I think the downside of this one compared to the T1 is its size, and I'll show you guys that when I adjust the camera and give you guys my final thoughts. But that's the beam of the Olight Baton 2. So let's go back to the T1 one more time. And I know this is really hard to always capture on camera because these beams don't always get focused in right by the light sensor, but I gotta say, this is the brightest of all three of these EDC lights and is probably the smallest by far. So this thing I think gives you the most amount of lumens in the smallest package. I like that orange peel reflector in this type of flashlight application. All right, so let me adjust the camera. I'll give you guys my final thoughts and show you guys a few more features of this light. All right, so what are my final thoughts on the Thrunite T1 EDC flashlight? Well, I gotta say, this thing is the absolute perfect size. I love the color. I believe it also comes in black and desert tan. I think this might be my favorite EDC flashlight. The other two that I mentioned that I reviewed it against was the Olight Baton 2. The downside of this one is it does have a longer body to it, so a little bit more real estate will be taken up in the pocket with this guy. And the Thrunite Catapult Mini. This was a little bit wider of a light, so it's not as easy to carry either. But this one I think is more for outdoor use, as I mentioned. This one is perfect for EDC. Now, one of the things that I normally don't do in these reviews is torture test these. I don't drop them, I don't try to bust them, but this one got torture tested by accident. I was trying to look at a few of the other features of this light. One of the things is the magnet. There's a magnet on the back of these, so this thing will stick to anything that is magnetized. So I have a little safe here. It will stick to that. So if you're using this to work on a car or need to hold it up somewhere, it will stick to anything metal. That's always nice. I installed the clip, and one of the things that the clip allows you to do is supposed to put it onto the brim of a hat. Well, I tried doing it here on my HK hat here, and it's a tight fit. In fact, it slipped off and it fell to the ground. So it fell by about a meter, and I damaged the bezel a little bit. But the light still works just fine. So unfortunately, I have a little bit of scuff on this light, which makes me sad because I really want to carry this a lot. And now every time I see it, I'm going to go, oh, there's that scuff. But anything you carry as EDC is going to get damaged. But that's just the nature of the beast, and this thing came through with flying colors. The light still works just fine. The bezel was not completely damaged. The lens did not crack. It just has a little scuff mark on that nice anodization on the outside. But unfortunately, I was not successful in using this clip with any of my hats. It looks like it should. It's just too small. Now, when it comes to the orange peel lens, I like that a lot, or the orange peel reflector. I really think this works well for kind of up-close EDC applications, and the size is absolutely perfect. The only downside I have seen besides the clip is the fact it gets a little bit hot on the highest setting. But besides that, I think it's the perfect size for EDC. And I can tell you, I'm definitely going to be carrying this one. I'm very impressed with it. In fact, I may pick up another and see if I can get another one in green or maybe the desert tan. Now, just because I'm a little bit OCD and that scuff's going to bother me. But this is meant to be carried, so I guess it shouldn't bother me too much. But there it is, the Thrunite T1 EDC light. I think this thing is the best bang for your buck when it comes to an EDC flashlight. Well, of all the lights that I have been given, I think it has a very affordable price point. I think you get a lot of options. It's extremely bright and has a lot of features. You really can't go wrong with this. And as someone that's really trying to be better when it comes to their EDC, this is definitely going into my rotation. So if I have any problems with it, I'll keep you updated, but I don't think I am. So what do you guys think? Do you like the Thrunite products? The more of these I get, the more of them I like, and I actually recommend these to other people, especially if you're not looking to pay Surefire or Streamlight prices. So there you go. Once again, the Thrunite T1 flashlight EDC Gear review. So let me know if you have any questions. And I put a link in the description below where you guys can go check this out and purchase it. And remember, I get no kickbacks if you buy one or not. I just got the flashlight for free and I scuffed it. So let me know if you have any questions. And as always, thanks for watching.